All right, guys, welcome back. This should be a pretty exciting video for you guys. Pretty exciting already because I'm actually driving my late father's 7.3 pickup truck that's been sitting for a long period of time. And it was acting a little funny. I'm hoping it just had a bad little blurch of fuel in it. And we'll try to burn that out. But we're running down the street, just touch over a mile from our dealership to a parts store that we've been using long as I can remember. They've been in business for 62 years. And they're closing their doors in the next couple weeks. So we already went down here yesterday, me and my uncle, and we bought a whole lot of their surplus stuff that we need, that we use all the time, bolts and nuts and refrigerant and DEF and coolant and other things like that. But we're going to walk through the warehouse because as I walk through there, it's not that big of a deal. But you, as a person that may be watching this, maybe have never experienced what goes on behind the scenes of a parts warehouse. This should blow your mind. If it doesn't, I'll be surprised. But we pull up here. When you go in this office, it's a small little section that you went in. But what was connected to it is, I think, 30,000 square feet is what they told me yesterday of parts. That's a lot. It's millions of dollars worth of parts. Look at that man. He just hit the curb and drove up on top of it. Dang, you missed that. But we're going to go inside and I'm going to show you guys. And if you're a parts person out there, a buyer or a supplier, or own a warehouse or have some connection with the large companies, they are looking for somebody to come in and do a full buyout on what's left here. And there's a lot of product and there's going to be a lot of meat on the bone as far as parts go. No, you can't just come buy one set of brake shoes and get a heck of a good deal. But if you come in with a bulk buy, such as we did, and if I did more service work, I would have done a huge bulk buy. But we didn't because we don't do that much service work in-house anymore other than what you guys see that we do. We don't have a full-fledged team, and all parts are different. All vehicles are different. So anyway, let's go inside. Enough said. Let's check this place out. Come on in, guys. So when you walk in a parts store, this is pretty much the part you usually see, whether it be Advance or Napa or wherever. This is Gray Line Auto Parts. As I said, 62 years in business. You walk up to the counter, you get your parts, and the thing we liked about coming here was they actually knew their stuff. They actually knew parts. They were car guys. They didn't need to ask what color your car was to give you some wiper blades or if it was 4x4. But this is the front scene of a warehouse like this. They were a supplier for a lot of their additional stores over time. Then everything kind of hubbed back to here. But we come up here and get hardware, fluids, filters, all kinds of other stuff. But Stewart, he's going to take us for a walk around back and let us get into the warehouse and show you guys some of the real craziness. Okay.
I think he just took off down the road. Okay.
So here's the warehouse. So when you go up front and say, I need some brake pads for a 1988 Caprice Classic, they come back here. Literally yesterday when we were in here buying stuff, they were running around with shopping carts like that, pulling parts, getting pieces. And everything's got a part number, everything's got a spot, right?
Yep, yep.
And it's 30,000 square feet right here, right?
Yep.
Yep. 30,000 square feet of parts. They've been steady cleaning and moving and doing things for quite some time, getting ready for this, but December 31st is kind of the
D-Day.
That's the D-Day. So not that far away from now.
No, 12 days.
Yeah, it takes a lot of parts, you know,
To have everything.
to have one-day sales.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And they like to come in and say, hey, we can have it, or we have it. Let's go in the back and get it. But, you know, you got rows and rows of brake pads. You got rows of axles. You got rows of what else? I mean, it's everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
Tune-up parts.
Engine parts.
Engine parts. I saw a bucket of pistons over here yesterday.
Yeah. All engine parts.
Power steering pumps, gearboxes. And just so you guys know the magnitude of this building, you can put 3 of our big building that we work in, that you guys see inside of sometimes, which is big. It's a big building. You can put 3 of those buildings inside of this building. And there's not hardly a shelf that's bare other than the ones they've started to clean off.
Right. I mean, look at the compressors. There's probably 300.
AC compressors, pistons. And again, this is just stuff, you know, if you order a line, you just go get this and you come to the counter and they're gonna hand it to you. But look at all the behind the scenes stuff of all these lines and what it takes to warehouse them, store them. It's insane. And it just keeps going and going and going. And again, if somebody's out there that is in the parts business, it's all for sale. They're going to get rid of everything. It's not going to be moved twice. They're going to sell it. Air filters, oil filters, any kind of fittings. As we were going through shelves and rows the other day, just, again, you're not getting bolts and nuts. I got all those, but,
Right.
you know, radiator hoses.
Look at the brake rotors now. So this is one side of a shelf. This is where it continues over here on the left. And then you've got this row, that row, and then that row.
Wow.
All brake rotors, and we're pretty low stock on them right now.
And the crazy thing is, we used to bring our rotors here to have them turned. They had a turning machine before. We have 4 turning machines now that we use none of. But before we even owned a turning machine ourselves, we would bring the rotors up here, drop them off on the counter, and they would turn them for next to nothing. It was cheap. Yeah, it was something silly cheap. Yep. But then we go put them back on the car. You know, an old school rotor had a lot of meat on it.
You could do it
3 times, you could turn them out and they'd still be good. Even some wheelchairs.
We're having a bad day. We're still gonna work. We're gonna still work.
Still gonna get things done.
Right.
A whole wall of belts, a whole 2 rows of hoses, another wall of belts.
Yeah, you can look, and that's both ways, and then down to the left down there, hundreds of them.
I would say there's thousands there.
It's probably one of 3 sections of starters and alternators, which is 4 rows here.
And they used to have an alternator team as well.
Yeah, a builder, yeah.
Yep, had a builder that did them, and my uncle would use him very regularly.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a ton of alternators.
And this side here is your brake calipers, all in the red boxes you're looking at. Yeah, there are hundreds and hundreds of them. Up top, you'll see some overflow of chassis parts, which we're getting into now, which is roughly about 600 or 700 just the control arms alone. I think we got 600 or 700.
And a lot of control arms have the ball joint built into them, so you buy both at the same time.
And then all this is mostly front end parts here, and all the top is all control arms.
Radiators.
And then hundreds of radiators, which, you know, the way they make them now, plastic and aluminum, everybody needs them. They're not made like the old days.
Throw them away too.
But, yeah, good inventory on them, and we can't keep enough of these.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, it's another thing, when it's down, you got to have it. And that was their biggest thing, was the Advance next door. We use Advance too, but their building is 1/10 of the size of this. So if you go in there and they don't have it, we'll get it for you tomorrow. They're going and getting it from a building like this and taking it to there.
Because they may have 30 or 40 in the store.
Correct. And
they'll got 500.
They'll walk in the back here and come get it, which was the coolest thing. So many people didn't realize it. It's
built transmissions, you know, whatever it takes.
Yep.
You know.
Yep, they did it all. But what a monster build. And I walked through here yesterday, and I'd been back here before, but not to the extent of yesterday, going through and looking at everything. But it takes a hell of a building to have everything in stock that you need.
This is where we house most of our fluids, which we're kind of low on, because ever since the date come along, we've had people just buy as much as they could.
Well,
limit to them.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. You can always use that later. You know, that's why we got so much of it. So, yeah.
We got.
Actually, he's getting some of our stuff palleted up right now.
We've got AC for homes. We want it from everybody.
Yep.
We do Freon for homes, cars. Here's another filter line over here that's one of 3 filter lines of air filters housed over here, just a room thing. And then all 5 of these rows are all dormant, which makes pretty much all the oddball stuff that you have problems finding, they specialize in it.
Excellent. I forgot the other day, hose, bulk hose. Do you have
Heater hose, yeah.
heater hose, fuel hose?
I don't have a lot.
All right, well, put down what, yeah, put down what you have.
Paint store?
Yeah, I had never been in here.
Yeah. This is their paint shop,
We're dying.
and we do a lot of custom mix paint, body supplies.
Yeah, I didn't
service
realize
a lot
this
of
was
body shops.
sectioned out separate.
Yep, mix your own paint, the mixing room.
Very cool.
But yeah,
Y'all added this fairly recently, right?
Robbie built it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he told me about it, and then I saw the sign, and
Yep.
I just had never been over in this section. But
Yep.
like I've told you guys, we don't do a lot of paint work. Unfortunately, that's one of the few things we don't do. And even an old sewing machine.
Grandma's old sewing machine.
Yeah. There's the man himself right there.
Oh, you got out
He's gonna be-
today, huh?
He's gonna be living a good life. He ain't gonna have to worry about all
Who
this.
let you out today?
Well, I escaped out the back door. AJ dragged me out.
Okay.
Yeah, put me in some handcuffs and pulled me down here. But
Okay.
I told him we'd do a video. I walked through here yesterday, and I've been back here before with Robbie and different people over the years, but hadn't really seen how crazy it was and how much infrastructure it takes, and
Oh yeah.
you know, to run a business like this. So I said, you know, we got to do a video about it. We got to. And once it's gone, it's gone, you know. So I said, I want to do a video. All you guys can always look at it and watch it and see it, but just telling how things worked. And also, if somebody was out there that wanted to make y'all an offer on buying the place out, you know, of its entirety, then
right.
you never know. We got a lot of people out there watching.
That's right.
So we like to spread the word. Y'all have always been really good to us. So,
Well, I knew your daddy quite well.
yeah. He didn't mind coming around. He didn't like going to the other places too much, you know. They aggravated him when they want to know. We always joke, you know, they want to know what color your car is and if it's 4x4 to sell you wiper blades, you know. So, you know, you guys knew, is it 16, is it 18? You know, it was.
Two-wheel driver full.
Yeah, and him and my uncle, you know, that was my dad's brother that was in here with me yesterday. They come from very old school. You know, we stocked parts. We had a stock room in our shop, and
That can
you know,
appreciate what we do.
they can appreciate what you do. And you know, as things changed over the years, that now, you know, we stocked 4 filters back then, and we could service anything. And now, you know, 400 won't cover it all.
Right.
It's crazy how the
You know,
world
a
has
couple of
changed.
Calls, 4 or 5 sets of points. We can
Yep.
do anything.
Yep. And those people don't even know what they don't even know what a set of points is. So.
Oh hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's foreign language. So, no, it was really great. So I told him we never know what'll come out of a video like this, but I wanted to come up and do it and walk through one more time. And thank you guys for many, many years, 62 years of it. It's a long time.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's a long time. And I told him I forgot about the Dinwiddie store. I used to go there all the time,
Oh yeah.
all the time, because that was the closest one to home. So, yeah.
We'll move on here.
14 stores at one time.
14. Okay, I was wondering about that. Yeah. You shouldn't have as much hair left as you do. Exhaust. All different kinds of Y pipes, converters. What's on the next row there?
Clutches,
Clutches.
flywheels,
Yeah.
space cylinders, mass cylinders. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Gonna be going.
Yep.
And the old machine shop stuff we used to have.
Yeah, so that's what we walked through here yesterday, and my uncle saw a couple vices he wanted. My uncle loves a vice, but and there's some of that bulk hose I was talking about. But this is where they would turn rotor. This is where y'all did that stuff, right? The rotors and the alternators and stuff. Yep. So all that's a thing of the past, unfortunately. Nobody takes the time. It's just easier and cheaper just to buy a rotor than take the time to put it on a machine and set it up and turn it. And
Right.
it's just a lost art. What's up, buddy? And it might not be exciting for you guys on there, but like I said, seeing all this for me, I can appreciate it because, you know, we do very little service work. Like I said, we source out a lot of it, but what we do in the shop, there's never an overlap of the same part number. Like that thing is just going to work for one thing and one thing only, and we might not use that part number again for 10 more years. So it's crazy when you start talking about inventory and selecting what inventory, which is what interested me, how they knew what part numbers. You said a percentage. What was the 70-some% was a active?
Yeah.
So, you know, they had a certain amount that was just dead inventory. There's probably parts in here that have been here.
Yeah, we cleaned up a lot. I would say we're probably 80% good
Yeah,
at moving stuff.
good.
And then you got to have that long coverage.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course, and that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. You know, that thing might sit there till the right man comes along, but one day he's going to, he's going to have it, and he's going to need it, and they're going to have it on the shelf, which is, again, for a mechanical shop, tying up a rack, that's huge. You know, that's the thing for us. You know, when we have a rack tied up, we're not getting paid unless the mechanic's working on something.
Right.
And if I don't have the part till the next day, that might be 5, 6, 8 jobs that couldn't have come in and went out. And they said when you ran the shop, that's a huge thing. Same thing for the off-road shop. If they get a lift kit and it does not have the right part and that truck ties that rack up, that's money. You know, so having the right product, that's why we stock so much of the different stuff Daniel and Brian do to have on the shelf, because we don't need those boo-boos. That keep going is huge money.
We had a guy last night had an 86, 85 Mustang Turbo 4-cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
Turbo calipers were different.
Yep.
We had a set for him.
Well, you wouldn't think that because the motor was different. Why would the
I've been sitting
calipers?
here a
But
minute,
yeah,
okay, but he came in and he left with them.
yeah, that's
right at
amazing.
closing time. So that's what it's all
amazing.
about.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, that's the part we're gonna miss the most was, you know, y'all having more variety than anybody else.
Yeah, you can go anywhere and buy parts.
Yep.
But a lot of it you can't get.
Yep. Or knowing that difference right there.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't look it up that way,
Right.
you would have gave him the wrong parts.
If you'd have
He
seen
would.
you had it and grabbed it, you'd have been wrong.
Yep. The guy would have gone home, tore his car apart, and
Yep.
been stuck in his driveway.
Right.
So.
Start over tomorrow.
Yep. And I guess this is the back area for getting the parts in and out. The computer there, I guess.
Yep. It's receiving and shipping. There's more filters. There's 2 or 3 rows, 4 rows of filters. Just a lot.
Spark plugs, a whole row of spark plugs. 2 rows. Wow.
This is ignition. Just a lot of history.
Yep.
A lot of history, a lot of time, a lot of work.
Yep. Well, y'all got your hands cut out for you. I ain't gonna eat up no more of your time.
Yes, sir. I
Thanks for all the
appreciate it.
business,
Thank
my
you.
man. And Grayline Auto Parts, reach out. If you can't get a hold to him on the phone, find me. I'll get you a number to him. And again, if anybody's in the market to own shelf after shelf after shelf of parts or a whole building full of parts, it can happen. So we didn't take it all, just a little portion of it. So thank you guys. Stay tuned for some more.
Thank you.